This is the Comics Alternative on location at Valhalla Games and Comics in Plano, Texas. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Comics Alternative on location at Valhalla Games and Comics. They're located in Plano, Texas at 3100 Independence Parkway. They're on the corner of Independence and Parker. If you're in the area, be sure to stop by because the employees who work here, not only are they knowledgeable, but they're extremely friendly. They're so friendly that they join us often on these on-location episodes. In fact, one could argue that they provide basically the crux of much of the stuff that we discuss on the show. But they're very helpful, and they'll help you out, point you to the direction that you may want to go for your books. That's Valhalla Games and Comics at 3100 Independence Parkway. And as we usually do every month, I am here in the shop with customers and employees who want to talk about comics in one form or another. Some months we have a particular theme, others it's just general comics talk. This is January, the very first episode on location that we're doing here in the shop, and we thought, because it's the beginning of the year, we would discuss titles that we're looking forward to in the months to come. Last month, in December, we took a look back at some of our favorites of the past year, so we thought for this month we would look forward. And joining me are Comics Alternative on location regulars Nick and Craig. Guys, how are you doing?
Doing fantastic.
Yep, doing great myself. Happy to be here.
Did you have a great New Year, a nice holiday season? I haven't seen you guys since right before Christmas.
It's been hectic. I actually started working here at the shop last month. So
you did?
Yes.
Now, okay, did I know that when I came in? I think I may have known that in December because I think, were working at the counter, but then I forgot that you were working here. So you're still working here. They haven't got tired of you yet.
No, they haven't, amazingly enough, and it's been fantastic. So everything's been going really well.
So you doing it in between classes?
Yeah, I just started back up at school today, so mostly working nights throughout the week and just going to school in the morning. Yeah.
And playing games as well, because you were playing when I came in.
Of course. I've always got to play my D&D and Magic and all my fun role-playing stuff.
And in fact, I noticed that when I turned the recorder on, I heard much more ambient noise than I've heard in the past. It's really hopping in here tonight.
It is. Our Dungeons & Dragons group has grown massively. Also, our Pathfinder group is now at like 12, 13 people.
Wow.
It's pretty insane, the growth that we've had in the past few months.
Well, that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
I'll never complain about that.
And Craig, how was your holiday season?
It was pretty good. It really was. It was had some family over, and it was really pretty good.
Yeah.
Nothing as exciting as Nick's stuff, but it was still good.
So, if the theme of the show is looking forward to the kind of things that... Oh, and we're joined by Stephanie. She was behind the counter. Now she is gracing us with her presence. She's also a regular. Not only a regular employee, but a regular on the podcast. How's it going?
It's going pretty good.
And your holiday season was?
Decent. I mean, I worked through most of it, but it was pretty good. I worked Christmas Day, and I work also at Starbucks. But the tips were so many tips. It was good.
So you work not here on Christmas Day, but Starbucks.
Yeah. I was about to say, if I say that, people are going to be like, why aren't you open?
I didn't even know that
Christmas
Starbucks
Day
was
too,
open
but,
Christmas Day. Really?
Yeah. We get time and a half.
I mean, you should get more than time and a half working on Christmas.
Probably.
Yeah. Wow.
I also worked Christmas, so yeah, I know the deal. So, but TI never closes, so.
And people need their coffee.
Yes. Or there may be murder.
So, what comics are you guys all looking forward to in the months to come?
Well, I'm kind of looking forward to the Unstoppable Wasp comic book that came out from Marvel that really surprised me. So it's by the guy who writes Princeless.
Jeremy Whitley. Mm-hmm.
Jeremy Whitley. And so basically he kind of did his whole... he did something during the Secret Wars, which was like during they did an issue that was kind of like short love stories taking place in the universe at the time. And so he kind of did one of those, and I guess they really liked it, and so they're having him do the Unstoppable Wasp right now, and it's been really fun. So you have Hank Pym's daughter, and she's trying to get together like all these female scientists in the Marvel universe to come together and join a group and solve problems, and I'm really excited about that. Because like they do have a lot of female scientist characters, so you have like Mockingbird is in it. Miss Marvel, she's not a scientist, but she is like same age group sort of thing, so it's kind of cool. And they're also going to get Moon Girl, who's the smartest person in the Marvel universe right now, to come join the group. And it looks really fun. And he's also so excited about it too, because he talks about it on Tumblr and like basically social media.
Who, Jeremy?
Yeah, Jeremy.
Yeah.
And I always love it. If someone's really excited about it and it shows, it's like you can tell a lot of love goes into it.
You know, I'm really glad that we started off by you mentioning that title, because we've had Jeremy on the Comics Alternative a couple of times. One for a more formal interview, and then 2, maybe even 3 times when we've been at cons and have talked to him. And he's a really good guy. And I think he had talked with my co-host, Andy Kunka, about the possibility of coming on the Comics Alternative like this year, this month, to talk about this new title. But we didn't follow up on that because that's part of it's a mainstream title, and we were trying to think, okay, is there a way to work it in to where there's an indie or alternative angle, and we really couldn't see that. But, you know, we always welcome Jeremy on the show, so I'm glad that you mentioned his new title. So that's great. He's a really nice guy, too. Really fun to talk to. So yeah, there's something, and the first issue of that came out this month?
Yes, so that was the beginning of the month, actually, I believe, first week. So, and I'm really excited about it, and we sold out pretty much. Like, I came in the store, we had like 2 left, I grabbed one, was talking about how excited I was for it, and the person who was there in the store is like, I will take the next one. I was like, okay, this is the last one. So, yeah, I'm excited.
Well, you know, you mentioned the phrase selling out, and that reminded me of something that you had mentioned to me right when I came in the shop and before I set up the recording equipment, is you asked me if I heard about what was going on with March. So what's been going on here in terms of people coming in wanting copies of March?
Well, we still have ours, but apparently, like, I saw on the Valkyries was people being like, hey, since Amazon is sold out, if you have copies of it, maybe you should mention it. So we still have issues 1 and 3 of March if you bought some of those on Amazon and you're looking for them, because they're pretty much sold out. I think right now people are getting for box volumes now.
Right. And we're talking about, for those who are listening who may be out of the know, we're talking about March by John Lewis and Andrew Iden with art by Nate Powell. And we actually had Nate and Andrew on the show last year when Book 3 came out. And in fact, the episode of the Comics Alternative, our weekly review show that went up today, Wednesday, Andy and I, at the very beginning of the show, we talk about the whole brouhaha surrounding, you know, what Trump said about John Lewis, all talk, and no action. This is a guy whose life was threatened because of chances he took for civil rights. And the irony of someone like a Trump who claims that he sacrifices by building buildings is just too ridiculous. But then again, when it comes to the public accepting Trump as they have, nothing surprises me. So that's it's like water off of a duck's back.
Yeah.
It's not going to resonate with most people. But and that really pissed us off. And so Kunka and I, we try not to get political on the podcast too often. But we wanted to say something. I think I wanted to say something more than Andy did, and about the whole thing with John Lewis. The upside of that is it's selling copies of March.
Yeah.
So that's good. I mean, you know, Trump is an asshole in what he said, and in trying to impugn John Lewis and his history. The good thing about this, though, is that John Lewis is making some money off of it.
The other good thing is that people are buying an outstanding book. I loved March. It was a fantastic book. It's still on one of my top all-time reads. So, guys, read it because it's a great book, but also just do it to piss off Trump.
Exactly.
Yeah, and the fantastic thing, too, is, like, how much it's selling, too. It's not just like, oh, it got a slight bump. It went from being, like, in the 200s, in like, as far as, like, where it was in conjunction connection with other sales to being the number one book in the Amazon store. So it's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's if you guys are interested in history or the civil rights movement, March is a great place to get started with. It talks about the beginning of the March on Washington, and it's just amazing on how much history is in that book and how much great storytelling is in it, and the artwork is fantastic for a guy that just did it on his own. I mean, he doesn't have any of the major labels on it, and pretty much just put it out there to put it out there. It's a fantastic book. I can't emphasize this one enough. It's just really good.
Yes, and as of last fall, it is the first comic to win a National Book Award.
Oh, that's outstanding.
There have been others that have been nominated, but that one actually won.
That's
It's kinda cool.
fantastic.
Yep. So definitely something worth checking out. But okay, so what are you guys looking forward to?
I'm excited for the return of Rat Queens.
Oh,
yeah,
it's
that is exciting.
I want to say it's been about a year since we've had an issue, and they're finally coming back. They're apparently rebooting the whole series. I guess they might have thought that they'd written themselves in some sort of hole or something.
Which they kind of wrote themselves into a corner.
A little bit.
Because like they wrote themselves into a weird place, but apparently it was a weird place that they wanted to go another direction that was also weird.
Yeah.
And so I can understand why they're deciding to be like, okay, we're just going to step back. Because the last issue, it might not be the last issue that came out, but the last issue I read was weird.
It was very disjointed. So we're getting a fresh start. It's a great place to start on that series. Definitely check it out.
Yeah.
Now, I can't remember. Are they renumbering it?
They are.
Yeah.
It is
Oh,
going to
really?
be starting at number 1 again.
Wow.
Yeah, but at
okay.
least it makes sense in this case. It's not like, oh, we had issue 5 and we're just doing an issue 1 for the sake of having a 1. It is like trying to tell people, okay, if you want to kind of start into it, this is where we're going from this point forward because
Yeah.
of basically how they wrote themselves into a corner.
Yeah, I couldn't remember what they were doing with that, because that's not something that Image does often.
No.
No, I
And
personally
there was
never seen
also
it.
like some and if you're worried, because apparently there was some whisperings that the original artist was going to come back, but he's not coming back, and there was some like controversy surrounding him, but he's not coming back, so there's not that to worry about either, so that's good.
Yeah. Okay, refresh my memory on the controversy surrounding
Okay,
the...
so basically he was found to be a domestic abuser, and so then he got kicked off the book, but and then like apparently he was still making money off the fact that he did Rat Queens, and then his wife came out and like kind of detailed exactly what happened and how he's not paying child support, and so people had to step back away from him again because people were like, oh, it's okay, he said he's sorry, but it's like, oh, it's just nasty all around.
It's unpleasant. And
Yeah.
but it also at the same time it raises this issue of, and not just for comics creators, but for any kind of artist. At what point or how much of an artist's personal life do we take as an indicator of whether we consume whatever it is that they produce, whether it be writing a book or a painting, or in this case a comic? Now it's one thing to not support someone or not to like someone and then just refuse to support them by not buying the comic. That's one thing. It's boycotting. It's something else though when someone learns something about someone else and it's unsubstantiated, or it's questionable, and there is a lobbying effort to remove that individual from a particular title or badmouth their book or what have you. The world of literature, the world of art is filled with assholes. Basically. So. I don't know. It's a touchy subject. And that's why I wasn't sure of a lot of the details surrounding.
I believe
the
it was substantiated,
Right,
though.
yeah.
So in that case, it wasn't like, oh, this might have happened. It's like, no, it happened, and that's why he got fired.
If I remember right, she did take him to court.
Yeah.
I mean, it was substantiated, at least in court details and stuff like that, and all that type stuff. So it's
Yeah, it was
And it was a bad situation.
Yeah.
Did it? I mean, was there a drop in numbers for Rat Queens, the original Rat Queens?
No, because
or?
I think it came out and he was gone. So
Okay.
like people didn't feel like they had to boycott because action was taken.
And was it Weeby who decided?
Yeah, I think
gone?
it wasn't. I don't. Well,
I
that's
don't
kind
know
of.
who did it. That really hasn't been told too much of
Mm-hmm.
who made the decision. It was just said we unanimously have decided to take him off the project.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I guess they're trying to be political and not, have any ill feelings towards a single person for kicking him off.
Mm-hmm.
So
it was an Image decision.
Possibly,
it might have been.
but we don't know.
Yeah.
It's complicated.
Yeah.
But yeah, so if you're worried about that, that's not carrying over to this new book as far as like he's not on it.
Yeah.
Because there was a time where that was rumors that's why they were doing it and it wasn't true.
Because I had heard when I listened to several other podcasts, who the co-hosts actually enjoyed the original Rat Queens. The reason that they tapered off the later issues of Rat Queens is that, from what I remember, they were saying that the art didn't do it for them. They didn't think that the art worked as well as the original.
Well,
and that's
it's
maybe
kind of
more of a matter of
unfortunate too,
personal
because
taste.
the guy who does Sunstone, I always have trouble pronouncing his name. And
Stephen Sejic?
Yeah, so that his art was really good, but he had like wrist problems, and I think that's continuing. But basically, he has to pick and choose what he does now, and so he chose to focus on his own projects.
And who is the new artist on the?
It should be in there.
In here somewhere. Let me pull it up real quick. And I can
But yeah,
notice-
they're not
Previous
using
catalog.
the same artist from the last time. They had a new artist too, which is I liked her art, but I think there was also creative differences there because I know that they had a falling out.
Well, I really liked that first narrative arc of Rat Queens. I thought it was smart, it was well done, funny, irreverent, which,
Yeah.
all of that I appreciate.
Yeah, pretty much first 12 issues is just, it's good. And you can actually, if you can find it still, I don't know if they reprinted it again this year, but they did, Image does this thing where their best-selling ones, they'll take 12 issues of it and put it into a nice hardcover.
Oh, the deluxe editions,
and
right.
those, like, for Lumberjanes and Rat Queens, that's, like, the best.
Oh, the Lumberjanes is Boom.
Yeah. Oh, well. Yeah, but they
did something
But they did
similar,
it.
right.
But so basically, if you can find like those around the holidays, those are really great to get because you usually get extra things.
Right.
So if there's something that you're wanting that's been around for a while and you kind of want to get into it, then and you want to spend a little extra but get more for your buck, like those kinds of hardbacks are really great. To
And in fact, with Image, we've talked about this on the regular show a few times. The thing about Image doing this, though, it's kind of ruined things for me in that when it comes time to decide on whether to get a new trade, so you have a new series, I really like it, then the first trade comes out. Am I going to get that, or do I wait for a deluxe hardbound edition, which I would prefer, but I'm not certain that title will eventually become available in a deluxe edition. So it's kind of a gamble, right? So what the publishers do, and not just Image, but a variety of publishers do this, they kind of inadvertently train us to either, first off, trade wait, and then potentially wait for deluxe editions, since they seem to be doing this more and more. But that's a gamble on our part as readers.
Yeah.
But I think it's also a gamble on the part of the publisher as well, because if someone waits for a hardbound that may eventually never arrive, then if they don't get the trades, that's less money for the publisher.
Yep.
So does the artist Owen
Jenny?
Ring a bell to anybody? Gieni. Apparently he's the new.
Is that the new artist for Rat Queens?
He's the colorist of Manifest Destiny and Shudder, actually.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
So,
I do like the art on Shudder.
yeah.
So that's something to look forward to. So, but yes, and but yeah, the original artist, he was actually arrested for domestic violence.
Yeah,
So
okay.
There's a. So anyways, enough of that.
Enough of the depressing
Happy
stuff.
things.
Yeah, it's like it's a new year.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow, that's two depressing things we've talked about so far. Donald Trump and domestic abuser.
Yep.
Okay, let's not go for the trifecta.
So, do we have any other things that we're excited for?
I am looking forward to, this may be only me, but I am looking forward to the new Highlander book. Connor McLeod is back, and in comic books, I'm an old Highlander fan. I love the first movie anyways. And, can't wait for more Connor McLeod stories. This one will be written by Brian Ruckley, an artist of Andrea Muddy, which I apologize if I murdered that one. But and it's just Connor McLeod is back, the only Highlander in my opinion. And I'm looking forward to it. I think that would make a great idea into comic books, is the whole Immortal series and all that type of stuff. I think that would be a fun ride into. And then
now, has Highlander been a comic in the past?
Not that I know of.
Because that seems like a property that would be perfect for comics, as you point out.
Too, but I don't remember it ever being a comic, and that's just maybe my bad memory. But
I don't remember anything either, so no.
And this is an IDW book, right?
Yes. Yeah, this will be at least the first in their new book on theirs. It's not Transformers or G.I. Joe or other toys.
Also coming out, I want to say it's starting back up again in March, is the new story arc for Headlopper.
Oh, that's right.
Because the first part was absolutely stunning. I mean, it's just essentially I want to say he was Norse, a giant Norseman roaming the land, taking out various beasts and creatures and whatnot, and he has a crazy witch's head on his side that just talks to him and makes little jokes and tries to lead him astray. It's fun. It's absolutely fun.
And it was also kind of distinctive too, because it came out quarterly, so the issues were a bit bigger. It didn't come out as often, but I mean, it was pretty neat.
They were nice 65 page comic books. It's a nice healthy read, and the art was absolutely beautiful. I can't gush enough about it.
For what I'm also excited about, that I hope is good, is the new Justice League of America team.
Yes, Lobo is back.
Yeah, not only does it have Lobo, but it has some of my favorite female DC characters. So it has Vixen, who's like one of my favorite heroes, Black Canary, and also Killer Frost. So I'm really excited to see how she's going to be a hero, because she's normally been pretty hard to control as a villain. And then you also have Lobo. You have Adam Choi's back, which is really cool because they're kind of going, they can have all these legacy characters at the same time as their regular counterparts. And then they also have the Ray, which is kind of cool because they're actually adapting him to an animated series for the CW Seed, like they did for Vixen, and he's going to be their first gay character that they've animated, and it's like open. It's not like going to be like, oh, he's, we're saying it, but we're not going to show it, sort of thing. And then, of course, Batman, because you can't have a team without Batman.
Of course not.
But But I'm also that's also a great book. If you guys have been reading the Suicide Squad versus the Justice League, it's pretty much members of. It's basically the outcome of that, and that's been a fantastic book. Really impressed with DC with that book right now, because that's just been a fun read. Batman tells the Justice League about Amanda Waller's Black Ops group, the Suicide Squad, and they don't like it, and so they decide that they need to go take care of this problem. And of course, as always with this stuff, insanity goes involved. Maxwell Lord, the mind control person, shows up and decides he's going to take control of the Justice League to get revenge on Amanda Waller. And so Batman gathers this group of what will eventually be the JLA, and to try and take out the Justice League and stop Maxwell Lord. So I'm looking. That whole group of cast of characters is just insane, and I'm looking forward to it. Anyone that can work with Lobo can't be all bad.
I'm following your work. I'm wherever you work is.
So that one I'm really looking forward to. I think that's one of the most DC book I think I've looked forward to in a long time.
Definitely.
When it comes to DC, there are a couple of things that I'm looking forward to. One, there's been no announcement as far as I know, but I'm looking forward to see what next we have in line for the Young Animal series, because I really enjoy what Gerard Way is doing with that.
Oh, yeah.
And so I'm not the biggest fan of Mother Panic. I think it's okay. It doesn't fit in with the others, but I really like the Changing Girl, Cave Carson has a cybernetic eye, and of course Doom Patrol. So I'm curious to see what they do next. Then the other thing, speaking of Doom Patrol, and this should come out I think sometime in the spring, is the Silver Age Doom Patrol Omnibus. Now, that's
nice.
that's going to be hefty. I don't know if I'm going to get it because it's I think the retail is $100, but you get, from what I understand, everything from the Silver Age with Doom Patrol.
Wow.
So if you like Doom Patrol and you want it, the classic Doom Patrol in one shot, then that would be the way to go.
Nice. So for the crazy pick of the week,
Okay.
what I'm actually looking forward to is Planet of the Apes Green Lantern. So, yep, someone's going to get into the Planet of the Apes universe and give, I believe it's Cornelius is actually going to get a power ring and become part of the Green Lantern Corps. And I just can't imagine how insane this is going to be.
Roddy McDowell.
And then one of the Planet of the Apes, of course, is going to get a yellow ring and be more insane. So it's crazy. I can't believe they're actually trying to mesh this stuff, but I can't blame them either because they did a great job with meshing Green Lantern with Star Trek, and that's been a great series. So I can't wait to see what they do with the Planet of the Apes and stuff. I think I know what Freddy's looking forward to.
Well, actually, we have a trade-off because now I think Stephanie is watching the Register, and then Freddy has joined us. Freddy, how have things been going? You haven't been on the show in a while. You've done little walk-bys where you've made comments from a distance, but this is the first time you've talked on mic.
I'm very much like the Brian of your show from Comic Book Men. Just snidey remarks, you know.
Oh, I quit watching comic. Which one's Brian? Remind me.
Alan Moore, Mushroom Head.
Okay.
I'm just saying, I see things lobbying.
That's the guy with the big beard.
The
Yeah.
beard, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the old guy with the beard.
Brian Johnson.
So, what are you looking forward to in
The Hatchet comic. You know I'm a horror geek.
There's a surprise there. I thought it was going to be a romance title that you were looking forward to.
I mean, lately I am pretty into the romantic titles. You know, I'm over here reading Love and Rockets and whatnot.
You got a new girlfriend now.
That doesn't mean anything. But no, but the Hatchet comic, I love Adam Green. Adam Green is one of my favorite independent filmmakers of our generation, and he started his career with the throwback to slasher films called Hatchet, which is based on this legend of Victor Crowley that repeats every night in the swamp and comes out and just murders people in the most hilarious and crazy ways. It's a horror comedy too, but the entire franchise itself has every horror icon from the 70s and 80s that Adam could get. So now that the trilogy is over and completed about like a year or two ago, he's finally letting other people into his universe to write it. So we got the new Hatchet comic, which features a story about Jack Cracker, who is a local hillbilly that drinks his own piss and hunts down Victor Crowley story. I am super excited. My tastes are impeccable.
How did you describe him? A hillbilly?
A hillbilly with one eye who rides around in a boat drinking his own piss.
Really?
Yeah.
I bet he's a Trump voter.
He probably is. Especially with a name like Jack Cracker.
Yeah. And there you go. I brought Trump back into the conversation.
Yeah, there you go.
Thank you.
I'm also, Craig is right, though. I'm also very excited for the Slayer comic book. Only because, I mean, I'm not a huge Slayer fan. I did like the last album. And B.J. McDonald, who actually directed Hatchet 3 and is another, like, favorite in the horror community for me, he directed all of Slayer's most recent music videos, which is a trilogy of videos that leads up about a guy who breaks out of a prison during a riot and has to go fight neo-Nazis and stuff like that. It's very Grindhouse-esque, my type of stuff.
That's the comic.
Exploitation. That's the comic book. And Slayer's in the background just playing whatever the hell to kill people. You know, raining blood all the way.
The comic book is the band Slayer facing neo-Nazis.
Yeah.
What more could you possibly want?
I mean, you know,
perfect.
They could be fighting Trump supporters.
That's probably for the second, limited series.
Probably.
The second arc.
Okay, now you made a reference just a second ago to Love and Rockets. Were you just being?
No, I just pulled stuff out of my ass.
Because because Love and Rockets.
I love Andy Hirsch. He loves Love and Rockets.
Yeah, not a romance title.
Yeah,
not really. No.
Sex Criminals. Now that's a romance title. That's as romantic as it gets.
In some ways, yes. You're right.
I've never seen more pure love than in that book.
Well, do you read Craig Yo's Weird Love?
No, we have too many customers that buy that off the wall before I can even touch it.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, good for him. It's popular.
Yeah, it is. And that sounds funny. Touching the Weird Love.
Yeah, touching the weird love.
Yep.
Before I can even get it.
Okay, I think we have a subtitle for this episode.
Touching the weird love before Freddy can get it.
Oh, gosh.
It's like my life. I will also say, as a huge Tim Seeley fan, it's been a long time since I've been on here, so probably the last time I talked about anything was the 50th time I've mentioned Hack Slash or something like that. No. But he has continued the Lost Boys franchise with the greatest sequel of all time. It is the sequel we deserved to the original Lost Boys.
So you're enjoying this series, Vertigo?
Oh my God, I am. That's like one of my favorite comics. It's the thing I look forward to the most, other than Big Trouble in Little China meets Escape from New York.
Okay.
The Lost Boys comic has been absolutely fantastic.
The greased up saxophone guy from the original movie is a vampire hunter, and you found out the reason he's greased up is he's greased up in holy water.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he beats people with his saxophone while singing hymns.
Wow. See, I read that first issue of Lost Boys back in October for our Halloween episode, where we looked at Halloween titles and recent horror stuff. And so that was one of the ones that we looked at, and I liked it. But
it's just gotten better and better.
But I haven't gone on to read subsequent issues.
Oh, you got it.
You
got to check it out.
It's everything you could have wanted, especially with those two crappy straight-to-DVD Lost Boys sequels. That made me disappointed in life and question existence.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You know what's sad? The sad thing is I met Corey Feldman and he's like, go watch those movies. I'm like, are they any good? He goes, no, they're shit, but I'm in them. I'm like, all right, man.
It's Corey Feldman. I can almost tell you exactly what he said, yeah.
No, I was like, whatever you say, Corey.
Yep.
Obviously, you ran out and watched them.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
But yeah, no, I mentioned Big Trouble in Little China, Escape from New York. That's the most insane, amazing thing I ever read. Greg Pak, by the way, one of my favorite writers from back in the day who wrote like World War Hulk, Planet Hulk. I met him. He's an awesome guy. He is writing that right now, and he could not be more insane and perfect for that book. The entire premise is Jack Burton and Snake Plissken, who are both played by Kurt Russell in Big Trouble in Little China, Escape from New York. In the Big Trouble universe, Jack Burton is that universe's Snake Plissken, and vice versa for the Escape universe. That is the Escape universe's Jack Burton. So Wang from the movies in the Escape from New York universe is the last national security officer in all of the U.S. because Snake, at the end of Escape from L.A., shut off the world, and he finds some magics to summon Snake Plissken to help him fight, bad guys. He accidentally summons Jack Burton, and with Jack Burton comes Lopan, the ghost, who then in turn summons a bunch of Snake Plisskens from different universes to fight Snake Plissken and Jack Burton. It just gets more and more insane, and I love every second of it. The smile on my face cannot be contained.
Well, I remember when a few years ago Big Trouble in Little China first came out as a comic, you were really excited about it.
Oh my God. And then since then I've become great friends with Joe Eisma, who's like my hero. Drew some of the best story arcs on Big Trouble in Little China.
Does he come into the shop?
Every now and then, yeah. I mean, we commission pieces from him and stuff too, and he's doing really good on the Archie books right now.
Because he's in Plano, right? This area. Yeah.
He's a local boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also the Archie book, speaking of, that's tickles my John Hughes teen comedy funny bone right there. Mm-hmm. You can ask Nick. I'm like crying over each issue every week. I'm like, do you see what's happening? She stole him for Veronica.
So are you looking forward to the new Riverdale
Hell no.
TV show?
Okay, look. The thing about any TV show on the CW is if you work in a comic book store, you're going to get the 411 before anyone else, because the moment you open up comic books that belong to DC and there's a new CW show coming out, immediately there's a giant ad for it that makes no sense toward the actual subject matter. Like when Arrow came out, I was already done with that show because every comic was just a shirtless dude. Guys who in the show don't even get shirtless, but there's shirtless ads for them. Then Riverdale, I love Archie. He's awesome. I'm loving the new series. I'm like, maybe we'll get like a teen Degrassi or something like that. I look at it and it's a murder mystery. It's Archie meets Veronica Mars. that ad looked like a Friday the 13th ad. I was waiting for Jason to come out and hack Archie to death.
Now, while we're on the topic,
And there's a tie-in comic for Riverdale?
Yeah, it's a one-shot, isn't it?
Yeah.
no.
Annoyed though too because it was kind of cool because for the longest time people kind of thought that Jughead was Ace because he has no interest in relationships. He's more interested in like food and all sorts of stuff. And then in the show they're like, not only are we gonna not have him do that, but we're gonna have him be interested in sex. It's like he's okay, just make an OC. Like it's not.
He just needs burgers.
Yeah.
That's like sex for him.
Yeah.
It's better. He loves it.
Yeah, I mean, he's Archie's wimpy.
Yeah, exactly. I'll gladly pay you for Tuesday for a burger today.
Yeah.
That's all he needs.
That's good.
Yeah.
Except you did a wimpy with a British accent, it sounded like.
Yeah, I've been having to do all these Valhalla videos with different accents, so eventually the characters blur together. I think at one point...
You guys are doing commercials?
I mean, like on the Facebook page. It's been getting people in, so it's usually just me doing something stupid like Sean Connery. Eventually I want to do an Arnold Schwarzenegger because, he's greatness. Tonight I'll be shooting another one where I'll do a Mad Max parody for our new t-shirts, now available at the store for $20.
Wow.
There's my plug.
So if our listeners wanted to get, maybe, we have listeners all over the world, but if they're not local and they wanted to get a Valhalla Games and Comics t-shirt, how could they do so?
I guess I could deliver them by foot. It might take me a little while, but I love all of you, so I might do that.
I mean, would you ship them out?
I guess we could. We'd probably have to charge more, obviously, but we literally just got these shirts in last week, so.
Oh, okay. So there you go. If you like these on-location shows and you want to support Valhalla Games and Comics, then definitely get in touch with us, and I'll pass on word to Freddy. And get you a t-shirt.
The shirts say die in battle and go to Valhalla, so.
Oh. Actually, for that matter, why am I selling your t-shirts? Get a Comics Alternative t-shirt. Hey, we have the t-shirt. I'm not wearing mine today, but
you're not even representing, Derek. What are you doing?
Yes. Well, it's a little too cold for a t-shirt, so.
It's never too cold for a t-shirt and shorts.
Yeah.
Did you mention it?
Oh no, you wanted it.
Oh, since we were on the topic of Archie, the Jughead werewolf one shot looks absolutely fantastic.
There's a Jughead.
Oh yeah, there is. I forgot.
So that one's also coming out. So the popularity, thanks to the Afterlife with Archie, it's immensely popular. Still is really popular.
It only takes like 2 years to come out between each issue.
Yeah,
but
that's the problem. But they're going to turn Jughead into a werewolf and make it a one-shot.
A were-jug.
Yes.
Yep.
And I can't wait. That's going to be amazing too.
It explains why he's hungry all the time.
Yeah.
For flesh.
That's a thing.
Yep.
And you're welcome, America, because that's what needs to happen.
I'd also like to piggyback on the fact that I think the Planet of the Apes Green Lantern crossover is the greatest idea ever, because Planet of the Apes is amazing.
Well, of course. New film looks great.
Oh yeah. War of the Planet. I called that when I walked out of Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. I'm like, oh my god, it's gonna be called War of the Planet of the Apes. It's gonna be the third one. It's gonna be awesome.
Well, that was an interesting voice right there.
It's Freddy. He always has some interesting
the voice I have every time I come out of a movie. I'm like, oh my god. Spider-Man was so cool in Civil War.
Oh my gosh.
He just needs the glasses going,
Moving on from that one. There's a comic coming out in, I want to say it's July. It's called Heathen. Mm-hmm. It's by Natasha Alterici. She's actually writing and doing the art, and it's about a Viking warrior who gets exiled from her small village, and she's trying to right the wrongs that Odin has created in the world.
Oh, is this the one that Sabrina keeps bringing up on these on-location shows?
Yeah.
Okay, and it's just gotten
She's
picked
kind of
up by
fixated on it.
Yeah. And
Image just picked it up.
Image, okay. I couldn't remember what publisher.
So yeah, I mean, she's been harassing me about it for forever now.
Is it an Image Top Cow title?
Let me see.
Because it sounds like it has a Top Count feel to it. I mean, I know that Sabrina's talked about it on the show.
Oh wait, no, it's not Image. It's Heavy Metal.
Oh, Heavy Metal. Okay.
Heavy Metal picked it up. Sorry about that.
The most recent Heavy Metal had a throwback cover to the movie too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
And a Grant Morrison.
Have any of you guys been reading any of that?
No, I haven't.
I really want to read it, but I don't know. When Grant Morrison was all like, "I'm gonna make this more punk rock," I'm like, "What does that mean?"
Well,
So you're talking about the magazine, right?
Yeah,
You're not
yeah.
talking about the.
I can tell you
not
what
the
it means
books.
because I read
Or the
Grant
comics
Morrison's punk rock take on the first heavy metal thing, and it's really, really good. If you like Grant Morrison, check it out. It's Hitler.
Well, no, I'm just like, it's weird.
Hitler designing a new religion with Jesus, much more
Iron
more
Sky too?
punk rock.
I'm down with that.
He will dig the nails out of his flesh and attack all his Jewish captors. It's amazing.
Whoa.
Hitler telling his video director and how he wants to create this new religion and how he's going to do it and how Christ should look like as a new Aryan god.
Now, this is something from the pages of
This
the
is
magazine.
from the pages of the magazine. It's the first
Okay.
the short story
Okay.
inside the magazine.
Well, the reason I was asking is because I think it was last year they started to put out comic books.
Yeah.
And,
They did, yeah,
and
yeah.
not just the magazine, just the comics. And so I'm curious how that's going. I know that one of those first titles was Paybacks, which had been at Dark Horse then for one arc, and then it went to heavy metal. So I'm curious how that's working for them. If this is something that they're going to continue doing,
I hope
or if they're
so.
just dabbling their feet into it. To
I
see
mean,
what
I
kind of
would assume so. There's enough like room, especially with Grant Morrison in charge, to be doing that. So
Oh yeah, definitely.
But,
the Kiss comic.
Oh God, no!
Yeah.
Freddie,
No.
you're drunk. Just go away.
Look, all right. I'm actually
not Kiss.
I'm gonna bitch about it. As you know, Kiss is my favorite band of all time. You wanted the best, you got the best. But
I'm sorry.
Amy Chu, you're so rude.
He just speaks what we're all thinking.
Amy Chu, the writer. Why didn't Kelly Sue DeConnick write this? She's a huge Kiss fan. Amy Chu. Okay, we're 4 issues into this book. Kiss hasn't actually shown up yet. I'm a little angered and perturbed by that. It's just a bunch of teenagers like, we're in a post-apocalyptic dystopian society, and look, there's a bunch of idols named the Elders or whatever. I'm like, I get all the Kiss references you're making, but there's no Kiss in this book.
Because nobody wants to see Kiss. We don't want to be blinded by the
By their beauty,
No, the
their
nastiness.
majesty, because that's what it is.
You're pushing it.
Whatever. Kiss is awesome.
Now,
That's my complaint.
on the topic of books that people shouldn't really like, I'm actually really excited about the new WWE comics that have been coming out recently. They've been really fun.
Yeah, you've been all over that.
I love it because it's not just a full story. It's almost like a collection of short stories that they're doing bits and pieces throughout each issue, and it's not just current things that are happening in the wrestling world, but it's also stuff from the past of the 80s of eat your vitamins with Hulk Hogan and all that fun stuff.
Eat your vitamins, brother.
Yeah, and it's been a lot of
Read
fun.
the Kiss comic, brother.
No, don't do that. But that's been really fun for me. I've always been looking forward to that. What about you, Greg?
I've been enjoying the conversation here, everybody.
Well, I want to throw out something that I'm looking forward to, and this goes back to something that Freddie ironically alluded to earlier when he said something about Love and Rockets. One of the things I'm looking forward to, and I think it's going to come out later this month or maybe in February. I can't remember when. Gilbert Hernandez has a new series called Psychodrama Illustrated, and it's, from what he's told me, because I've corresponded with him recently, this is going to be him taking, he described it as an anthology, and he's going to be taking his character Fritz and the people surrounding Fritz, and that's going to be what much of Psychodrama Illustrated is about. And the way he put it is that the Fritz world, I don't know if you guys read Love and Rockets, so if you know who Fritz is, but
You keep making me wish Andy was here because he would quote that.
yeah, in the Fritz world is kind of taking over his part of Love and Rockets. It's becoming too big, and so this is one answer to that. So he can kind of spin this off, Psychodrama Illustrated. So I'm curious to see what it looks like. I mean, the Fritz world, as we've talked about on the Comics Alternative, Andy and I, a number of times in the past, is getting quite large and convoluted. And if you don't know who Fritz is Luba's sister, or one of Luba's sisters, a half-sister, when she was first introduced, she was a therapist, and she was notable because of her speech impediment, her lisp, her heavy lisp. But also she was notable for, how do I put this, the trait that the women in Luba's family seem to have, which is, let me see, hefty bosoms, let me just put it that way. But then, after a while, Fritz left her career as a therapist in order to star in B movies. And so now...
Sounds like my life.
And we get... Or the life you wish you had.
Yeah.
And
I quit. I'm going to go be in a schlock movie.
And these are rather explicit B movies. And so many of the stories now that Gilbert has been doing over the past several years have been Fritz stories where she's a B movie actress. And then those are the stories in Love and Rockets. When Gilbert creates standalone graphic novels, many times those graphic novels are like quote-unquote the actual films in graphic novel form that Fritz does. But then Fritz, in Gilbert's world of Love and Rockets, has been so successful as a B-movie actress that there is a big string of Fritz imitators, women who want to be like Fritz, who admire Fritz, who want to cash in on the, in this world, success of the Fritz B movies. And at this point, there are so many Fritz imitators and imitators of the Fritz imitators that it's getting difficult to keep up with. We need a scorecard. Like, who is who in this world? So anyway, one of the things that Gilbert is doing is spinning off this new series, Psychodrama Illustrated, I think, to let off some of his energies with the Fritz stories.
Interesting. I'll have to keep my eyes out for that.
It's definitely worth checking out. And it's not romance comics.
Another book that may be interesting, I haven't decided if I really want to pick it up yet, but it sounds really interesting, is the comic book Black History in Its Own Words. So it's basically quotes of dozen black luminaries and portraits and illustrations by Ronald Wimbrey, featuring memorable words and depictions of Angela Davis, John, basically a lot of the black heroes, and saying, what it means to be black in the United States in their own words. I think that I'm not certain how that will translate as an actual comic book, because it's just them saying words. But it sounds kind of interesting.
I mean, I don't know how sequential it's going to be.
Yeah. So it's not an actual story, but I like the idea of putting famous people out there and their quotes and stuff like that. But so I don't know. It sounds interesting.
And it'll be out in February, right? For Black History Month?
Oh, yeah. It's supposed to be anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah, if the shipping always, you know how that goes.
Guys that are also fans of Immortals, you should probably check out Greg Rucka's new book, The Old Guard, of another immortal who forms its own band of mercenary soldiers and can form them, and they go out and do these weird Black Ops type stuff. That sounds really interesting, but I like Greg Rucka, and he always writes really interesting stories, so I'll be curious to see how he handles
that guy's insane writer.
Yeah.
Really good, yeah. In fact, we keep talking about having him come on the Comics Alternative, and he says he wants to. It's just we haven't chosen a moment, in other words, when he has a new release, to get him on the show.
Well,
maybe this is an opportunity.
Here's an opportunity, yeah.
You can have Craig and Sabrina squealing in the background.
Are they big fans?
Oh, Sabrina loves Greg Rucka.
Yeah.
I like Greg Rucka too. I've loved his work since I've read it in Wolverine.
Well, you had Craig at Wolverine. You write Wolverine, you're the greatest writer forever.
He was great. And I've followed him ever since from there, and he's just been great everywhere. So I will definitely be checking out The Old Guard. Can't wait for that one.
Is anybody excited for the new Dark Crystal comic?
Kind of.
Because Muppets are some of the greatest things on the planet.
I do want to look out for that one to see how they're going to.
I'm trying to figure out how you continue that story.
That's kind of what I want to
Because it felt like very one and done, and everything was peachy keen at the end of that movie, but. It'd be cool to see. I mean, that's a great universe. I think Jim Henson's probably one of the greatest untapped like geniuses out there for like sequels and stuff like that.
Well, that and just his mind is just amazing.
Well, and the storyteller comic that's been coming out based on his old series, the anthology series, that's been pretty cool too. So it'll be interesting to see how they continue that kind of like mindset. Because how does one get in the mindset of Jim Henson?
I have no idea. That's why I'm really kind of curious on how they're going to go. So that's a comic book I'm really looking forward to, but yet kind of worried about.
I mean, they've had the development hell of the Dark Crystal sequel forever, so at least we get that's almost every time there's a movie that goes in development hell, it just comes out as a comic book. Like, we've been wanting Bill and Ted 3 forever. We got Bill and Ted Go to Hell.
Yeah.
That's literally the title, and it was awesome.
And that's hey, that's a great idea. If you can't get your movie made, make a comic out of it and see what happens.
Cry tears over it.
That too.
This could have been my greatest magnum opus.
Some other stuff that are kind of cool coming out, especially for Marvel fans.
America, which we know you are.
Which I am. America Chavez is getting her own book called America. She's incredibly powerful, and she probably has deserved her own book for a long time. But so Gabby Rivera is going to do it. So I'm kind of serious how they're going to handle her.
Yeah, she came full form in the A-Force comic.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
It took a while.
Ultimate stuff that she's been doing.
Yeah, the Ultimate stuff's been all right, but it's been a while since we've really seen her sit as hardcore as she was in A-Force. I feel like.
So that will be fun. I'm also a big fan. They're finally reorganizing the X-Men franchises, and instead of just concentrating on the fact that they're all dying, are finally going to make them heroes again and let them go out there. So they're bringing back X-Men Blue and Gold and stuff like that, and let them be actual heroes.
90s just coming back hardcore.
Yeah, it is.
Chrome
but
covers
I'm
and all.
Super excited we're done with. Hopefully, we'll get the X-Men going in a better direction than what Brian Michael Bendis wants to put them in through.
I mean, to be fair, can you really blame Brian Michael Bendis for that? It was Marvel just being like, kill them all off. We hate them in the franchise before. Fox, go to hell.
Yeah,
that was just power plays left and right. You can't really blame the writers. They kind of got stuck with it. For all we know, Brian Michael Bendis was really sad about that.
I mean, look at what happened to Fantastic Four.
It's non-existent.
Four series.
The thing is in the Guardians.
Yeah, we haven't had an actual series in
actually,
3
he's part of
years?
S.H.I.E.L.D. now.
Nah, not 3 years.
2?
Maybe you're right.
It's been a long time because Fox has the rights to it, and they're like, we're not going to do it anymore.
Fox won't do anything with the movie rights either. It's just the Fantastic Four is floating in the ether.
And that's really sad because the Fantastic Four is
Marvel's first
really
family.
Put Marvel on the map back in the 1960s.
Not to mention the fount of greatness that comes out of that book. I mean, you got the Watcher, you got Galactus, you got there's so many. The whole entirety of their space universe comes from that book.
The Skrulls?
The Skrulls, yeah.
And the Kree, and they always took the wrong track with the movies. I always felt was they tried to make the Fantastic Four a superhero team when they're more of a science fiction team.
Well, they're a dysfunctional family. That's the main thing.
But they always should have done a science fiction story of them going out and meeting aliens like the Kree or the Skrull and having adventures that way.
That sounds fun. Get out.
I know.
That's not how we work at Fox.
I know. It's like, wait, that's a great idea.
Okay, so you guys are mentioning films, and we're talking about what we're looking forward to in terms of the actual comics themselves. Well, what about in terms of comics culture with things that are based on comics but aren't the actual comic books themselves, like films or television programs? What are you looking forward to in the coming year?
Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
So the next Guardians of the Galaxy movie.
That's going to be awesome either way.
Yeah.
You got Sylvester Stallone and Kurt Russell in that movie. It's literally Tango and Cash in space.
Wow. You see, I didn't even know that either of them were going to be in that movie. When is it going to come out? I don't know.
Yeah,
May.
May. Yeah.
May.
Okay.
Then we also have Black
and not
Panther.
Only is, was it? They're bringing out Ego.
Ego the Living Planet.
Is actually going to be Star-Lord's father.
Yeah, we're going deep cuts with this
movie. James Gunn said, "Don't worry, it'll make sense when you watch the movie." So we have to watch it now. I mean, Ego the Living Planet fathered something.
See, my hope, though, is from this springboards the greatest idea ever. Because if Chris Pratt is playing Star-Lord, son of Kurt Russell, Ego the Living Planet, in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, then we can get Big Trouble in Little China 2, in which Kurt Russell plays Jack Burton, and Chris Pratt plays Jack Burton Jr. And there's your film right there. Pay me. Because that's the greatest idea you'll ever hear.
Nice.
I've gone on James Gunn's Facebook page and suggested that. I said, make Big Trouble in Little China 2, get rid of The Rock. Amen.
Yeah. Well, we've also got Spider-Man Homecoming coming out,
look,
Freddy.
man, oh my God, you have no idea how ready I am for that movie. Let me put it to you this way: so we had Batman vs Superman and Civil War come out around the same time, kind of similar kind of storylines. I was at Alamo Drafthouse, and I say, this is how I saw the movies: Batman vs Superman. I had an empty beer glass constantly because I kept drinking. I was so done with that movie. Civil War, I had an empty beer glass because I kept getting so excited that I would throw it on the person next to me. And then when Spider-Man came out, and it was the Spider-Man that I always wanted and remembered reading. I mean, I go back deep cuts with Spider-Man. I have reprints of all the original Amazing Spider-Man stuff, a reprint of Amazing Fantasy 15. I've read it all. It's cheesy as hell, but damn it, I love it. It is like that Spider-Man gave me my morals. Like, if you were to say, what is Freddy? It is those Spider-Man comics. And Peter Parker makes Spider-Man to me. Tom Holland is Peter Parker. Therefore, he is Spider-Man. So I am super excited for this movie. Not to mention, Batman plays the Vulture. Michael Keaton.
Yeah.
And I never thought in my lifetime that the Vulture would be scary. But in that trailer, when he's like, I'll come after you and your whole family.
Oh, that was terrifying.
I was like, oh my God, Batman turned into Hannibal Lecter.
That was the coolest Vulture suit I think I have seen in forever.
And we got the Shocker in there and the Tinker, supposedly. Like,
it's going to be jam-packed.
Yeah, with awesomeness.
Marvel, yeah.
Marvel win.
Yeah.
I am very behind in my Marvel cinema universe.
Doctor Strange was awesome.
Yeah, I wanted to see Doctor Strange. In fact, that's something that I thought my wife would enjoy, and we had even talked briefly about going to the theater together, but we never did.
As opposed to usually when you go separate, right?
Or not going to see it.
Oh, yeah.
But, I mean, I haven't even seen I haven't seen Civil War. I haven't seen...
That's on Netflix.
Yep.
It's on Netflix now?
That's how I watched it.
Disney's made a deal with Netflix is that they will have exclusive right to stream their new movies, like pretty soon after they come out.
Okay.
So they put like that, and that includes Marvel stuff.
Well, see, I still need to get through the rest of the second season of Daredevil.
And
I haven't gotten
You've gotten through Luke Cage?
No, because I'm trying to finish Daredevil season 2.
Derek, you got Iron Fist in March, man.
And you got Defenders later on.
Yeah, Sigourney Weaver's in that.
Yeah.
She's the villain.
Yeah.
It's gonna be great.
I mean, there's just so much to watch right now. I don't have time for everything that I'd like. I mean, I just
don't have
getting
a life.
around.
I mean,
I'm just getting around to watching episodes of Outcast.
okay, so I will say, as far as adaptations go, I'm a huge fan of Adam Wingard. He did the VHS movies, You're Next. He did the recent Blair Witch movie. He's an excellent filmmaker and an excellent horror filmmaker at that. He did the first episode of Outcast, and I love that book. I have the first issue, and it is panel for panel, shot for shot.
Really?
The first issue.
Because it's been so long since I read that first issue, I couldn't remember.
Well, I remember distinctly how that issue flowed and how much I liked it, and it was exactly like that. And so I've only seen the first episode. I haven't seen anything beyond that. I really want to, but I mean, I was hooked because, one, I love Adam Wingard, and two, I liked Outcast a lot as opposed to Walking Dead. So
You're not a Walking Dead fan?
I'm not a Robert Kirkman fan all the time. I love Invincible's awesome. Invincible is his best book. Walking Dead, I was just like, okay, we're ripping off Romero. That's cool. Everyone's probably going to beat me now.
And doing it badly.
Look, if you want to read Walking Dead, just go watch Day of the Dead. It's Romero's greatest.
Would you watch the AMC series?
Season 2 was the most boring thing I ever watched in my life, and I couldn't do it after that. Because then at the end of it, everybody's all like, "Oh, Sophia's a zombie." I'm like, we didn't see that coming 20 episodes ago and 400 hours before that. Like,
yeah, season 2 was definitely not the series high point.
Still on the farm, complaining and whining, and someone's dating. It's like Degrassi with zombies.
That actually sounds more interesting than that.
Craig's doing coke this week. Oh, and a zombie bit his finger off. Just saying.
Oh, God. Anywho.
Yeah.
So. Sorry about that tirade. Your viewers probably all hate me now.
That's okay.
We're never going to that store. I won't judge you for reading anything. I'll let you read whatever you like. I just don't prefer that book.
Yeah. I actually have something that I've just found again. It's from Boom. It's called Grass Kings.
Okay, so a new comic. Oh, this is the Matt Kent one.
Yes. Where it's essentially in the rural South, I want to say. And it's about these three brothers who rule a trailer park kingdom. And a child has gone missing 20 years ago, and she, I guess, resurfaces is what I remember hearing. And there's all these weird things that happen in this sort of lawless trailer park kingdom. It sounds really interesting, and the art just looks absolutely beautiful.
Mm-hmm. And Kent's not doing the art. Who's the artist on that? I can't remember.
It's Tyler Jenkins.
Okay, Tyler. Yeah, and he did. What was it? Snowblind? What was it that came out? Is another
Snowblind? No.
Another Boom book.
It's Snowblind.
Okay, so it was. Yeah, and that was really good. I enjoyed that. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And, Matt Kent is another one of those creators that we are wanting to have on the Comics Alternative. And when, I've talked with him a few times. He wants to be on the show. We've just not gotten around to getting him on. But this is the series, I think, that we can definitely make an effort to bring him on.
Other stuff that's coming in there, you got I don't know. I like Supergirl, the TV show. I think it's adorable. I think it's fun, and the fact that they're going to have a Flash episode with her, and and they're going to do it as a musical, I think is amazing, and I can't wait to see it. It's like,
I heard about that.
Yeah, I like TV shows that can, every once in a while, just say, we're just going to do something fun. And Supergirl so far has been that show. And as my mom said the last Halloween, for the first time ever, she saw more kids dress up as Supergirl instead of Disney princesses.
Well, good.
And how happy that made her, that there were other characters out there than just Disney princesses for girls to look up to, like Supergirl. Mm-hmm. And I think that's amazing, too.
That's fantastic.
So I will support Supergirl for as long as I can.
Yeah, I have yet to see an episode of that, but I didn't see it when it was, originally on CBS?
Yeah.
And then it was dropped, and then now it's CW.
And now it's on the CW, so they can use all the other DC characters.
Yep. Well, let's hope that CW or someone will pick up Constantine.
I'm hoping so, but they kind of are, because it's going to be released as a cartoon.
Well, no, I do not mean that. I do not want a Constantine cartoon.
But no, it's supposed to continue up and use the original voice actors of Constantine and all that. So I don't know. It's something I'm like, yay, it's more Constantine, but yet it's a cartoon.
Yeah.
Yes. But so, anyways, I'm still hopeful that they'll at least take a chance on it, because I loved that show. I really liked it. And again, they canceled it just as it was getting good.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot to look forward to for this year.
So much.
Yeah, we've talked about the comics, we've talked about the films and TV programs, and we've talked about a lot of things that are going to be coming out in the next 2 or 3 months, but I'm curious to see on down the road into the summer and fall what we can expect as well. So, I hope that 2017 turns out to be a really interesting year in terms of comics. This week we're getting off to kind of a bad start, politically speaking. But, it may not make up for it, but reading the comics may ease the pain. So I want to thank you guys for being a part of the January show. Nick, Craig, and Freddy, and Stephanie. And we have been at Valhalla Games and Comics. They're at 3100 Independence Parkway in Plano, Texas. If you're in the DFW area, definitely do stop by, and talk to the guys here. And, tell Freddie, hey, I want a T-shirt. And he'll get one for you. But you can always get in touch with us about these on-location shows, and we do like hearing from you. What you can do is to go to comicsalternative.com, and there you'll find that you can leave us a voice message via SpeakPipe. Do it online. It's really easy. Or you can call us the old-fashioned way. Our phone number is 415-3-COMICS. That's 415-326-6427. You can get in touch with us via email as well. We're 2guys@comicsalternative.com, or you can contact me directly. I'm Derek at comicsalternative.com. And we're all over social media like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, Google+, Goodreads, Pinterest, and YouTube. You can subscribe to the podcast through iTunes. You can stream us on Stitcher. You can find us on TuneIn, on iHeartRadio, on Spotify, on Google Play Music. But you can find every single one of our podcast episodes, as well as the reviews and comics-related commentary that we post on our blog, simply by going to the website, which is comicsalternative.com. So guys, had a good time here. We will return in February, and I guess a topic yet to be decided.
All right, looking forward to it. Thanks for having us.
Thanks, guys.